Right, so I got one of the brickies here with us this morning. We are just starting to clear down the blockwork. These things are insanely heavy. You basically can't lift them from here with one hand. They're ridiculously heavy. Solid bricks. And they're all going to lay on their side like that. Be laid flat. So we'll have 6 or 7 courses of those the whole way around to get us up to damp-proof membrane. And what I've done is I've just laid out here very loosely using a spray can and a rod and measured off the wall to get it online. Obviously this is very rough because you'd always set up your corners and then you'll run a string line between them. But what this does, it allows us to see what the outside edge of the blockwork is, and then the blockwork will sit nice and square in the middle of it and come off here, because the building wall isn't 100% square necessarily, so you can't square off that. You obviously can't square off your fence, although you obviously need to know how much distance you've got between there and your fence. You obviously need to square, he'd be square to itself and to the building. So yeah, we're laying these out. Morning all, welcome back to the channel. Bit of an early start this morning because we've got the bricklayers here. So I'm just setting up the time-lapse camera. Hopefully that comes out nicely. I'm going to open up at the front there, and we can get started laying down some of this. I've got to pocket in these beams here. 2 of those are going to be pocketed in on that far wall over there. So I've got to do that. That's going to be noisy and not particularly nice. But yeah, I'm going to set up this now. Hopefully it comes out okay. So while the brickies get themselves set up over there, I'm laying out now for these nylon beams to go in. So I'm just scraping a little bit more out over here just to make sure that these can sit on nice and square the whole way up. So I've just got a bit more scraping out to do. And the other thing that I'm doing is I'm just checking that I'm level across this thing here. Now, the nylon beam, those have to be sat on a really good solid bed of mortar, and they obviously need to be level. Now we're a little bit out of level right now, but that is the original foundation of the house, which is a really good solid base to sit on. There is obviously that little brick pier there that's in the way, so I'm going to have to chisel that out just so it can key in. But also when I lift this up to level there, that distance there is exactly what the bed of mortar is going to be for the nylon beam to sit on. So actually we're pretty darn close. That'll be chiseled out there and then we're away. So got the hammer drill again. We'll be pocketing out there to be able to get these nylon beams in.
Not good. It should be going out on a Sunday.
Almost bang on, a little bit more.
A little bit more?
A little bit more. Right. Obviously there is a bow in it, but it's close. So close.
Still more?
Yeah. The other thing is, obviously we've got to make sure it's flat that way. So I think what it might even be is that we just got to twist it and get a bit of muck under at this corner here to get it nice and plumb. Because also we're still out slightly at that corner there. Yeah, exactly right. So we're nice and level across here. I'll show you that. That is bang on. But at this end it's ever so slightly out, because if you look at the level, I'll try and show you, it's tipping up and down at both ends because there's a bow, there's a hump in the middle of it. They do that deliberately because obviously all the pressure and stress is going straight down on this point here. So what we do is we make it up in the mortar and we just level across. But it's very well bedded there. and this is nice and level here at this point. So I'm happy. Now we get the second one in and we're going to check the level across both of them together. It's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really solid, and it's nice and square down the line as well.
Yep. I have to put it down. On my tongue. Right.
Yeah.
It's on my tongue. Ready? Yeah. That's it, I'm out.
So now we can re-establish the string line. So it runs right along those concrete blocks, right along the edge of that, and we know that they'll be dead parallel and square.
Have you got to go up more there?
That gap's going to shrink. Whole lot's going to come up and across.
Right.
So we're low at that end, but we look bang on BJ's side. For plumb. Are we a bit out on the plumb?
Yeah.
Fine, so what we'll do is we'll knock the bottoms in and then we can twist them around.
That one's got to come, as you said, the bottom's got to go in, that's
Bottom's
got to
going
come
in.
out.
There you go. You can knock that in. When we throw the muck in, it will help keep it apart. Yeah, so we've got to go. Actually, the base can go in quite a bit, actually, because of the twist. So we're aiming for 215 on the width and plumb. So we're close on the plumb there, aren't we?
Yep.
And then we can check across with the boat level as well. Fine, so this one needs to come down now, and then we'll have our level. Yeah, there's a little bit of twist on these anyway, on the cast. The other option is knock it a little bit up at the top there. Perfect. And we're happy on the plumb as well.
It's got a big bow in that as well, mate.
It does, yeah.
You can see it there.
Yeah, you can, yeah. That's fine. That is really good. Put that there. Let's final check across. Whoop. Final check across here. Across the length. Yeah. Great.
Happy?
I'm happy. That is really nice. That's about as good as we're going to get it.
Yep.
Because of the bow and the twist in each of them.
Yep.
But we're exactly the same width as those blocks over there. Got the same distance. Stick the muck in between as we have the whole way along, and then they won't depart from that. Nice one. So I've pocketed out there. That goes back 150. It goes down 150. Those are 14 high, so we'll have 10 mil of muck inside the joint. It'll be nice and tight up against that top line of brick. And then this here is the original foundation as well, right up to there. So it'll be bearing down on the foundation and on the brick wall, and it'll be bearing down on there as well. We'll get it nice and level across. If this is a little bit lower, it's okay, because we can make it up with a nice strong mix of mortar for it to bed onto here. That'll work really well. So there are going to be two of these in there, side by side, tight up against that little brick line there. And then we're stepped in from the party wall by 150 mil. Right, we're about to get these R9s in. Remember, you always want these at the bottom. There's a slight bow on the top for the compression, I guess, deflection. Structural engineers out there, remind me, is it, who knows, whatever it is. We're going to bed this down on some mortar now, because they're so heavy. You know, these ones we've just kind of temporarily put in place and then we'll bridge them across. These ones are so heavy that we're literally getting our muck ready to go, and we're just going to get them straight on because they're so heavy. So we've marked out across, we've made sure we're square. We did the old 3, 4, 5 trick, so we know we're bang on square across here, and that line there lines up perfectly with that one there, and that is square to the back of the house. So we know we're bang on 4.5 meters to this midpoint here, and we're going to have one beam on each side of those. Right, let's stop talking and get on with it. heavy. Right, we just moved them, got them just resting there while we get the muck down. Getting a nice firm mix of it. We'll put it down and then Bob puts a dusting of cement on it as well, just to suck the moisture out and just to help it hold a little bit tight. Then we lift them and put them on. Right, we're using this little spinning laser. We're doing two things. One, we're checking that we're level all the way around and we're finding the exact height that we need to work to. Right at the front of the end there, it will then pick it up. But also, we've used it here inside the room, there. So I can know that the finished floor height in here is going to be the same as the finished floor height in here. You hear that beep? When it's a long, consistent beep, we know that we're on. Obviously it needs a clear line of sight the whole way across. And it just allows us...
What else in the way, mate?
It really helps actually for me because the floor joists in the kitchen are not level. They have a big bow in them, so I'm going to have to remake those up. But you can see down there what's under the ground, and I've got a bit of brickwork and it's basically soil under there. Right, using that, we've marked up over there. It's 575 there, and it's 575 there to the top of the beam. So we're doing really well. It's nice and level. The groundwork has done a fantastic job. It's beautifully level, so we can get that in. 4 brickies on site now. This is going to fly up. It's going to go well. It's going to go really well. It's good. We can then bed these in. Got these bedded on. They're nice and level, plumb. Got the mark here. We can get those on, and then we can get those ones in the corner. Very nice. And that is bang level across to that line over there. If you can see that, that is dead level. That level there, coincidentally, is the height of my floor joists in the back room. And that's where our damp-proof membrane is going to be really, really high up. Because that's what the building control has specified. That's what the structural engineer specified. And then I'm going to run my joists from here all the way across. So you do the corners, he's doing a corner down there, and then we run between the two. So it's good, it's really good. So we are up to damp proof level on this side, and it is bang on level, which is really very nice, and it's dead plumb as well, which is really nice. So they've done a really good job so far. It's only 1:30, so still lots to go, which is good, but that whole wall is done, which is really nice. And we're going to be doing across the back here, across here. We've got the sand blinding to get level. Now obviously we've got a backfill in here as well, so I've just ordered some more type 1, which is this stuff here, the aggregate. Now get this right, so if I ordered half a truck, which is 5 tons, it would have cost me about £350. If I get a full truck, it costs me £450, and a full truck is 10 tons. So I've got 10 tons because there's quite a lot to lose. We've got all of this down here, which is more than you'd think it is. This space here is very big. All of this around here, and then across the back here, there's quite a lot that needs to be lost all the way along there. That grades down quite a bit over there, and that back corner is low as well. The other place that we'll end up losing some of it is along here. We can clear a lot of this. We can put the Type 1 down there and get a nice fall on the slope here, because all of this driveway is going to be redone. So we're going to have 10 tons of this stuff delivered tomorrow, and the brickwork will carry on.
Just lift it up first. Hold on. Waiting! Nice and slow. Right.
That's pretty much on.
We good, B? That's it, cut the mill. Remember it's canted as well.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, it's got to come up. Put dust underneath it. Yeah.
We'll go there, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, waving it. Right, lift it up, I'll get some more. Get some dust and then I'll get some more under it.
Ready?
Yep.
Come on, boys, come on.
That's looking much
You
better.
happy with that?
That's good there. Scooch it along again just in case, but I'm pretty sure that's...
We'll get it on.
Yeah, we'll get it on the, we'll get it on the
Yeah.
water because it's canted anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that. It's that
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
one. Dust on that,
No.
it's got to be 5 mil.
Where'd you want me? In the up in my bottom.
Right, you don't need to do that side, though, do you?
Steady. Be careful.
Why do I have to go there? My fingers are going to be like...
Slot it in.
Adrian!
Yeah. Right, look, you must have set this one blocked.
Yeah, we're going to have to get it in first, mate.
Go on in.
It ain't going in.
Too
Give me a
mu-
bit of wood, Bob. That's it. Oh, thing's on fire this morning, where?
Yeah, you eat a bit, crunch up. Oh, crunching up. Crunching up.
Yeah. Crunching up.
I don't think you'd get it much closer, to be honest. It's probably much
We need 215 anyway, Bob. So
215. Very nice. This end I think is a bit big, but I'd rather it big than small.
Way, ain't we?
So 2 beams on,
Get some shovel beads.
nice and level
Run a line.
and flat.
Yeah.
It's good.
Go on, let me get the rubber mallet as well.
We've set up our string line. These are going to move across, get dead in line with this.
Still pushing in there, Bobby. I'll run this. We're at the corner up. We're
It's
attacking.
nice and tight on our string now. 215, perfect width.
Hey, mate.
I need to climb down there.
Yeah, that
We've
line's
strung
going
across.
down, mate. We just double check it on the
We've
brickwork.
strung from the house across to make sure that we're perfectly plumb,
Hey, mate. Take it down. Take it down.
and then we've measured, so we are exactly on now. So it's dead square, 345 the whole lot. We did it rough the first time and got it wrong. We've done it right and accurate the second time. I say we. Sam the brickie did it. So we are now perfectly square to the house, and we are accurate. We hope. If the house is square, we're square to it. That's about the best we can do. Another 10 tons of aggregate. Watching for that power line. It's going to come back a bit and get us as close as we can. Just going to move this. Move all of these bits out of the way. Right. Yes, mate, that's fine. Right, the brickies have just gone. He's absolutely chucking it down with rain. They've started trying to get this course on and then a lintel, but the bricks are slipping all over the place. It's just not worth it, and tomorrow's going to be dry. Look at all this here, all that sand blinding. It's like the Battle of the Somme. So they're finished. I'm going to do a bit more. I'm going to get a whole load of this type 1 down here. I've put the majority of this drain run in, which is going to go down into the manhole there. That's going to serve the ACO here at the front of the house to run the rainwater. So I just need to check that I've got a half decent fall on it. Obviously it's got a U-bend there to stop the smell, which is fine. But yeah, it's miserable weather. Miserable weather. Nice and level, clamping it down. We've got this laser here. Bang on.
See this corner, mate? Yeah, mate? See this corner up here, look. There he's got it. He's got that. Good. Check that with the laser first, Tom.
Yeah.